Russia has won the war. And war is an extension of politics by other means. So it's not that just that Russia's winning militarily. Russia's crushing us economically. And Russia is destroying us politically. The world has undergone a geopolitical transformation. The world is a different world today than it was before the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It's a world where Russia and China have a relationship that's stronger than any alliance, where Russia and China have created a trans-Eurasian economic union that's stronger. A world where the G7 no longer matters. The G7 is a joke, a literal joke. People should be telling jokes about the G7. You know what's more important than the G7? BRICS. That little economic group, Brazil, Russia, India, China, Saudi, or South America. But now BRICS has Argentina, BRICS has Iran, it's going to have Turkey, Egypt, Saudi Arabia. Everybody's joining BRICS. The G20 summit in Indonesia, there's a lot of talk, keep Russia out, keep Russia out. Well, what is the G20? Subtract the G7, and what you have left is BRICS. The world has changed. The economic center is no longer the European and American elite. They've been pushed aside. They are a literal joke. Russia and China don't take the G7 seriously anymore. The only people that take the G7 seriously, apparently, is the G7. They sit there and they talk, they sanction, they threaten, they flex muscles. They have no muscles to flex. I mean, this isn't Arnold Schwarzenegger flexing at the age of 23, where you went, holy cow, what muscles. This is not even Arnold Schwarzenegger today, who, if he flexes, you still say, holy cow, what muscle. This is, some dilapidated 98-year-old guy who's atrophied trying to flex. That's the G7. They're pathetic. The G20 is about to collapse because the G7 is trying to flex its muscle and turn the G20 into an extension of the G7, but the G20 is really an extension of BRICS. We've lost economically, we've lost geopolitically, and we've lost militarily. And normally you would say this is a bad thing. But yeah, I'm in the process of writing a book, and the working title of it is The Right Side of History. Russia's on the right side of history right now. Russia's on the right side of history. That doesn't mean that I'm pro-Russia, that I want Russia to win. I'm just saying, when historians look back on this, there is going to be a right and there's going to be a wrong, and Russia's on the right side of history. So I can't shed too many tears just because we decided to cast ourselves as the bad guys in this drama. Bad guys need to lose. We need to lose this one.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott. Lori, anything more for Scott tonight?
All I can say is thank you for being so generous with your time. You stayed with us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I expected.
I apologize for coming in late. It just I got bit by that dreaded tick a couple years ago, and if you've ever had Lyme disease or know anybody who's had it, it comes in waves, and when it hits you, it's just like a ton of bricks falling down on you. So I apologize. It knocked me out, but I got up, and here I am.
You're what we call a trooper.
Not at all. Yeah.
You are a trooper, and thank you so much.
Oh, Marine. Don't use the word trooper. That implies Army, and Marines are never.
Sorry. My bad.
No problem.
What a delight talking to you, Scott. I hope we can do it again.
It's a pleasure meeting you, Lori. And Rick, it's always good talking to you.
Thank you, sir. Our privilege and high value for all of our viewers tonight. I truly appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right.
Peace.
You take care.
Peace.
Wow. That was so helpful. I'm blown away. The depth of the knowledge, the insight, the wisdom,
and the
he
wit
shared with us. Yeah,
Scott's a funny guy. I laughed out loud several times during that interview. It's supposed to be so serious, but he made me laugh.
And the range of subjects tonight just ran the spectrum from Ukraine to the raid on Donald Trump, and it all tied together. It was all interconnected, all totally relevant, and so insightful.
And I think everyone stayed with us. Everyone's still awake out there.
Oh yeah, the audience kept building and building.
Good.
We had a huge audience all night long, and they're still with us now. I think this is not the longest broadcast we've done. We've done some other marathons, but this one's up there, and it was well worth the time spent. I'm so glad that he was able to join us here at the tail end and shore that
Me
up. That
too.
was
And boy,
fantastic.
he had so much to. I mean, I've watched a lot of interviews with Scott Ritter. Just recently, I have. And of course, some of his answers are, asked by other interviewers, and he gives a fairly standard answer. But he also told us some things tonight that I have never heard him tell any other journalist, particularly about his fight with the FBI
Oh,
back in the 90s. There was a lot there I didn't know.
wow.
So yeah, we got some scoops out of Scott tonight. It
to
was
to
amazing.
live through that, the stress, the pressure on the family, that's an incredible story. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. Unbelievable. What a life. It's like
Indeed.
something out of a spy novel, but it's real. Uh,
I can't
when he
wait
was
to read that new book.
when he was talking about his wife and the polygraph, I was riveted. That was imagine having to go through that. That's terrible.
Shades of Lee Harvey Oswald. I don't mean to compare him to the guy who supposedly killed President Kennedy, but Oswald had a Russian wife named Marina, who was
Mm.
I think the daughter of a KGB colonel, and the FBI harassed her and Oswald constantly, and especially Marina.
Yeah.
His wife's name is Marina, Scott's wife.
Isn't that
So
interesting?
yeah, there's some strange parallels there.
Irony.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, what I will do with that interview is I will, once it finishes processing tomorrow, I will re-render just that section. We'll post the whole thing again, and then I'll maybe try to find some time to divide up some of that Scott Ritter interview into nice bite-sized chunks by subject matter that people can make use of.
Well, a bite-sized chunk with Scott can be like 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah,
Guy can talk a
exactly.
blue streak and it's all good. So you don't want to edit anything. We're not going to
No,
change the
no,
context of anything
no,
that
no,
Scott
no.
said
Just
tonight.
be divided up into sections so that
Right.
you can identify it by, specific chapters, right? Just take a little bit of work, but it'll be worth it because
I'll
there's a
help you with
depth.
that and help you index it.
Excellent. Yeah. Wow, that was a fantastic interview.
Great
Um,
show tonight.
yeah,
Whew, I'm exhausted. How about you?
I'm tired too. It's actually been an emotional roller coaster over the past week, and then now to do this marathon broadcast tonight, it's tiring.
It is,
But,
but I feel good. I feel a lot better
yeah,
after that conversation. I hope everybody feels the same. Not everything was bright and sunny in what Scott had to say, but there's a consensus building out there, and people are waking up to the truth. And guys like Scott Ritter help us see the truth through his experience, through his eyes. I think he's spot on. There really wasn't anything I disagreed with.
yeah. I came away from this tonight too feeling optimistic because when I think back to when the special operation with Russia began in Ukraine, um, I was really fearful that we might be going down a road toward a nuclear conflict, and it seemed like there were some people who really wanted it to happen. But tonight, as I said, it feels like the world is winning because we're losing, and I just mean
What a weird
the
feeling. I know.
yeah, it's just because I think that the way this is winding down and ending and is likely to end, it diffuses that possibility of a nuclear war. And I'm so grateful for that. I don't know that we're going to end up in a better place in our countries, in Canada and the US, economically stronger. I think we're going to be weaker. I think that the US and NATO countries, Canada included, will need to recognize a new reality geopolitically, a new reality economically in a macro and in you know, an economic sense, and the way that we deal with countries like China and Russia. But I'm just glad that we're not going to blow each other up. That's, in the end.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I don't know how crazy these world leaders are. That's what keeps me awake at night. That's what makes me, hug my loved ones tight every single day. You never
Mhm.
know how crazy these bastards really are and how far they might go just to save face. The problem I see right
yeah.
now is, how does the United States, NATO, end this thing without shame?
Yep.
That's the hard part.
And you see how far some people are willing to go to retain power. That's the wild card in all of this, right? If they're willing to do that, you see that they're willing to go pretty far. So hopefully things calm down, but I don't know. Who knows? There's no way to predict, right?
My cat has ideas. I'm sorry about the cats jumping up here in the middle of the interview. They can't help themselves. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
I'm afraid they're going to knock the mic over and knock the camera over. Boom. Sorry about that. They're really good kitties, but they're getting anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dog is getting anxious too, because we're way past our regular time to go for a walk. So he's getting desperate upstairs. So with that, I guess it's time to throw it over to Lori for a final comment, and then we'll sign off.
Folks, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for all the support, all the positivity that you give us. That's the fuel that keeps us doing this for 6 hours. We're not doing this for money. Keep your money. If you want to donate, great. If you can't afford it, please don't. We just appreciate you tuning in and sending those good Canadian positive, loving vibes right back at you from the States.
Yeah. And from me to you, thank you very much, everyone, for hanging in there for this marathon broadcast. And I'm sure that everyone found it worthwhile because of Scott Ritter joining us here tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow night, same time, same station, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on the flip side.